Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the 250th session of the online Optom Learning Series OOLS. And for today's session, to lead this, we have Mr. Nilesh Thite. Mr. Nilesh is currently working as the Executive Manager of Educational Programs at the International Association of Contact Lens Educators. And he's also a director and co-founder of a unique educational initiative which is known as Masterclass Optometry. He has been into academia for more than 2 decades and has fellowships from the American Academy of Optometry, the British Contact Lens Association as well. He is an associate professor and also a former in charge of one of the optometry schools in India, and very much involved also with industry, providing consultation to Bosch and Lomb as well. His areas of interest are contact lenses, refraction, dispensing optics, and is well known for his presentation skills, I would say, and presented papers, scientific posters in many national and international conferences with having peer-reviewed publications of those researches as well. And he spends a lot of time voluntarily with optometry students because he likes to communicate and get their ideas about what they think of optometry and how can he be an helpful tool in their journey as well. So thank you, Nilesh sir, for coming on to our platform and leading this session. And let me please hand over the screen to you, please.
Lovely. Thank you so much, FB. And I'm honored and privileged, that I am actually being a part of the 250th session by OOLS. I love to call it as OOLS. I think you prefer OOLS, but amazing achievement. I must say that, this is going on for such a long time, consistently on and touching various optometry topics and having experts from around the globe. So I think the entire team of OOLS deserves a round of applause, and that's from my side. And a special mention for having me on the 258th episode, which is, an iconic landmark episode. So thank you very much for that. We are going to have something very, very interesting in next 40 odd minutes. We are going to talk about contact lenses, and contact lenses happen to be one of my areas of interest, as FB mentioned. I have been in this particular field, that is contact lenses, for over, I think, 15 years now. So spent a lot of time in contact lens training and education, and love to talk about contact lenses. I'm very passionate about it. Before starting today's session, let me just acknowledge the contribution of colleagues, individuals, as well as the association. So whatever content I have collected and created, some of that is taken from the help of some of these people. At the same time, some of the slides are from the International Association of Contact Lens Educators. So the ICLC module. Okay, let's get going. I have a question for you, and I'm going to just ask this question to you. I'm not going to expect an answer from you. I'm just going to give you a few seconds to think about it. The question is, do you believe in contact lens practice? And while you're answering or thinking of this question, I want you to look at this video to just remind yourself how easy it is to just apply a lens on your own eye. This video I took a few years ago. And this was the second attempt, and I could just apply the lens very, very easily. I'm not a regular contact lens wearer. So this is just a good reminder. Now, if your answer to this question, that you believe in contact lens practice, well, you have come to attend the right session. And suppose your answer is no, I don't believe in contact lens practice, then it is even better that you have come to attend this particular session, I would say. So let's have a look at, some of the interesting information and ideas about contact lens practice. So this is a common question that comes to our mind, whether are we clinicians or are we business person as contact lens practitioners? And the answer is simple. We can't be either or. We are, as contact lens practitioner, we are a combination of clinician as well as a business person. So a contact lens practitioner is also always a business person. And I think somewhere we need to keep that in our mind. Another question, and there'll be a lot of questions through this particular session. And in fact, I'll also give you an opportunity to answer some of these on polls. I just hope that the technology helps us. So why should we practice contact lenses? If someone asked me this particular question, the answers are here. Number one, contact lenses actually, they are an essential part of vision care. You cannot say that you're providing comprehensive vision care if you're not providing contact lenses as a part of your service. No, I'm sorry to say that. Again, there are more profit on dispensing contact lenses along with other facilities. Now, I'll come to that. We'll spend some time on this particular line so that, some of you must be questioning, is it true or is it your opinion? So we'll come to that a little later. Today, if you look at the technology, the materials, the designs of contact lenses, it's quite advanced. And we have a, contact lens for almost every potential wearer, every person with refractive error, there is a contact lens. I'm saying almost. There may be a few contraindications, absolute contraindications, but I would say almost everyone, there is a contact lens for them. Now, through my interactions with some of the practitioners, this always comes up that, LASIK is a big competition to contact lenses. And, intuitively you feel that, some of our patients we are losing to LASIK, and maybe that's a fact. But I've also spoken to people who have a LASIK clinic as well as a contact lens clinic. And this is something interesting. Now, there's no research on this, and maybe some of you who are research oriented can actually think of working on this line. But I've spoken to at least 4 or 5 such LASIK centers, and their take is we do have a very good flourishing contact lens practice as well. And my question was obvious, why? How come? And the answer is when a person, opts for undergoing LASIK surgery, that person is very highly motivated to not wear glasses. And some of these patients are contraindicated for LASIK surgery. Now, where do they go? Now, obviously, contact lens, fits in the bill. It's a very good option for these particular patients. And that is how many LASIK institutes also have a good contact lens practice. So this is what my, interactions with these people have unearthed. Now, just remember, unless we provide a contact lens to our patients, it's not going to be a one-stop solution. So if you're just providing spectacles, you're doing half service to our patients. Now, from the patient's point of view, what is happening today? Well, the refractive error is increasing. I think by now everyone knows by the year 2050, it is predicted that almost half of the population will be myopic if we don't do anything about it, right? So the number of patients requiring refractive correction definitely increasing. There are people who will come to you asking about various options of vision correction. Today's lenses are far more comfortable. You saw the video when I wore it. In few seconds, it was absolutely comfortable. It's as if you're not aware that you're wearing the lens on the eye, right? The options are convenient, getting more and more affordable as well. Cosmetics, there is a cosmetic appeal in that. You can also change the color of your eyes. There are some patients where you would need contact lenses for therapeutic reasons, and of course, specialty contact lenses. The hardcore clinicians among you, they must be thinking of the specialty contact lenses. So, definitely there are reasons from the patient's point of view as well, for which you need to start thinking about contact lenses. I haven't even talked about presbyopia in this year, but there's a chunk of patients who are becoming presbyopic, and some of them don't want to wear spectacles because suddenly at 42, 45, you start wearing spectacles. People know, you're getting there, some people don't like to reveal their age. No, don't look at me. I'm in the presbyopic age, but I'm lucky because I have a minus number in one of the eyes. So I'm lucky. Now, the other part, some of you will say, okay, whatever you are saying is fine, but I don't want to do contact lenses. So what? Okay, then prepare to lose. Because if you do not give contact lenses, someone else is going to do that. There are practitioners who have identified that, you have to prescribe and fit contact lenses to to do proper service to your patients. So if you don't do that, there are people who are doing that anyway. And once your patient goes to that particular practice, very difficult for you to bring the patient back. Generally, people are very happy once they are happy with their practitioner after fitting contact lenses. So good luck to you if you don't want to. And what I would say is, suppose you're not competent or you're not comfortable or confident for fitting certain types of contact lenses, at least refer your patient to a proper practitioner, because ultimately, as practitioners, our duty is to do the best possible service to our patients. So if you feel that this patient requires a particular type of contact lens, but you cannot do it because you may not be confident or competent in doing that, no problem. At least refer the patient to someone who can do proper service to the patient. This is an interesting one. A contact lens wearer generally doesn't just buy contact lenses. There is always an addition on something. On what is that addition of? Almost every contact lens wearer will have a backup pair of spectacles. So there is contact lenses and spectacles, right? There is spectacles, contact lenses, and contact lens solutions, unless it's a daily disposable lens. Then there is additional sunglasses. And you can just keep adding. There could be contact lenses, single vision spectacles, multifocal or progressive addition spectacles, prescription sunglasses. You can just keep adding to this particular repertoire. But there are just many options that you can provide to your patients so that the patient can enjoy their lifestyle comfortably. That's the ultimate goal, to help the patient enjoy their lifestyle comfortably and fully. Now, what are the other benefits of contact lens practice? So typically, as a practitioner, and this I've asked people, and we've also done a survey, and it came out that they prescribe contact lenses mainly for the professional satisfaction that they get. They see the look on the patient's face, and they're just very happy that they're being the cause of providing that happiness to their patients. So professional satisfaction, very, very important. You cannot underestimate that. Now, as a professional, you get more respect if you're a contact lens practitioner, because your patients tend to believe that you know better than an average practitioner who does not fit contact lenses. So in the patient's mind, you're on a slightly higher pedestal. Generally, the loyalty of these patients is better. They keep coming back to the practice, and of course, you can add to the revenue, the actual financial aspect of that. And you also get referrals. If you fit one person, you can always fit the parents of that young person or children if you're fitting a multifocal contact lens to let us say presbyope. Right? Now, I'm going to touch upon hard-hitting facts, no facts or numbers, I would say, which is, what about the profitability? Is contact lens practice actually profitable? Now, I tried to look into literature, tried to find out a lot of information on that. I didn't find too much information, but whatever I found, I'm going to share with you. So these are a couple of studies. One was way back in 2000, but the other one is just a few years ago. And they have come up with similar conclusions, which is an average contact lens wearer spends about 2.5 times more than average only spectacle wearer, because that person comes back more often. That person purchases more products from you, like contact lenses, care products, backup spectacles, and sunglasses, and so on, which I was talking about just a couple of minutes ago. And sometimes it could be, additional extra reading glasses or multifocal contact lenses and so on. So a couple of studies, one from 2000, one almost 20 years later, but similar outcome, which is a contact lens patient is almost 2.5 times more profitable over a period of time, not immediately on the first point of sale. Please remember that. It's a slow burner, or it's a long-term profitability, not just one point of sale. So please remember that. Now, this is another one. I think it's about a 10 to 12 years old study, which they tried to understand from the US optometrists. This is specific to US. And the questions were about, what are your sources on income within the practice? And as you can see here, and as you would intuitively think, about 43% comes from the spectacle dispensing. So if they, let us say they assume 100 100 units is the income. 43 is the income from spectacles. About 39-40 is from professional fees, which I think is quite high. If you are in a country like India, the professional fees are not very high, and the income that practitioners generate from professional fees is not that high. I'm sure you probably relate to this. Not very sure in other countries, but especially India and subcontinental countries, this this is too high for us, right? But interesting point to pick here is contact lenses contribute to almost 16% of the revenue, which is big, which is really, really good. If I just think of how much revenue India, how much revenue practitioners generate, I don't think it's more than 2 to 4% average. So imagine their practice in terms of contact lens prescribing and dispensing it at a quite high level. Just one more study I would like to share quickly, which is customer lifetime value. Now, this was done, I think, in Europe. Again, old study, but very, very interesting, very detailed study. And they asked a few questions, and they tried to understand, over a period of around 5 years, what happens in terms of customers' value. And it clearly came out. And the countries, as you can see, Germany, France, Italy, and UK, it came out that the contact lens patient's lifetime value, or within those 5 years, is about 44% more profitable. This is what came out in this particular model. Very, very detailed study. But again, it's an older one. I'm actually looking forward to looking at some new studies, but haven't found yet. Okay, last in this particular sequence is how much time do people spend, etc. And if you divide the practices, for example, a practice that is at a lower level in terms of overall overall turnout, lower quartile, median, and upper quartile. Upper quartile is high practices, uh, high business practices. So what is happening with those? I just showed you one circle, which says that the volume of contact lens work in those practices is almost 22% compared to compared to practices which are lower than them. You can see they're quite low. And also in terms of exam per optometrist per day, almost 12, which is again high. So these particular practices see more number of patients. At the same time, their contact lens revenue is about 22%, which is quite high. So better practices, or practices that are doing better businesses, also do very well in contact lens business. That's what you can understand out of this. Now, all these things put together, what is happening globally in terms of contact lens population? See, the number of people we know, there are almost 7.6 or probably 8 billion people across the world. And people who need vision correction are about 70% of those, including presbyopia. But if you look at how many people wear contact lenses, it's hardly 175 million. Very, very small percentage, minuscule, hardly 3 to 3.5% of the people who can wear contact lenses. So the penetration of contact lens globally is very low. Countries like India, it's even lower. So that's a serious issue. Well, and something interesting coming up now. So contact lens potential. If you look at this, we know that a large number of people will require contact lenses, right? And presbyopia is also affecting a lot of people. So you will have either in younger age group, you have myopia. In older age group, you have presbyopia. So there is an uh, opportunity for us to prescribe and fit lenses to both these age groups, right? We conducted a study a few years ago where we tried to understand what are the opportunities in contact lens practice in next few years. And we have the results and everything. It is a published paper. But what I'll do now is I'm going to ask you a question. And this is where I want Fakhruddin to show a poll, which is you have to look at these options and pick any top 3 options which you think are great opportunity in next few years of contact lens practice. You can pick any 3, not more than 3, just 3. So Fakhruddin has started he has started the poll already. I just want you all to pick any three options, not more than three. And you can see the options on the screen. There are daily disposable, multifocal, ortho-K, myopia, and things like that. And what I'll do is I'll also share with you uh, what were the results of our study. In fact, FB, you were a part of this study, right? You remember?
Yes, we did it a couple of years back.
Very
Yeah.
interesting. We had this 2,400 plus responses across
Yeah.
the world, 70 plus countries. So it was a huge study. Lot of information we gathered for that. So let's end this poll and let's see the results now.
Yeah. I'm just gonna
I think people
and
are responding. Just give 5 more seconds.
just yeah, yeah,
I want most of them to respond. Let them also feel
yeah. We have almost
overall.
60% of them
Okay,
have well, on the Zoom
let's see.
have responded.
So let's project the responses.
Yeah. So I'm just sharing the results now. Yeah.
Okay, guys. So you can see the results. Multifocal for presbyopia, ortho-K, and daily disposable. These are your top three. Okay, this is what you in this particular group thinks that these are the top three. I would say opportunities in contact lens practice. So let's stop sharing, and I'll show you what we got as result. Okay, I'm sure you would be interested in knowing what other practitioners are thinking. So I'm just going to show you our findings, and our findings say that daily disposable for occasional wear is probably the way to go. So many people believe that that would be a game changer if you're a contact lens practitioner. The other one is multifocal contact lenses for presbyopia. And I think some of you said that multifocal contact lenses. Third is myopia control and materials to improve comfort, because you can see a lot of patients are complaining of contact lens related discomfort. So if you have a material with which the patients can wear the lenses for longer time, that would be probably a good game changer. So these are the results of our study. I think we are matching in a way. Couple of things not matching so much, but other two things are matching here. All of you, or most of you, would have come across this particular paper. Phil Morgan, IACL's president, and his colleagues, they always um, present this information in January of every year. They've been doing it for last 24 odd years. This year also, this is published in Contact Lens Spectrum. And I'll just quickly share the important information that I found relevant to this particular talk. So they studied around 10,000 plus fits this year in the year 2024. 65% of those were females, remaining males, and part-time patients around 11%. So most of them are still regular contact lens, full-time lens wearers. Soft contact lenses contribute, as you would expect, 90% of the patients. Toric 33 in terms of design, spherical, toric, etc. Toric is 33%. In terms of replacement schedule, daily disposable is really doing well, around 40 to 45%. Silicone hydrogel in terms of material is over 80%. So it's very, very popular. Almost every soft contact lens fit, or at least every other soft contact lens fit, is of silicone hydrogel material. And if you look at patients 45 plus years of age, around half of them were fitted with multifocal lenses and around 8% with monovision lenses. That also means around 40% of the patients are not being fitted with any of these two, which is a little scary, because what are they doing? How are they managing their vision needs? We don't know. Probably they are just wearing distance vision correction and on top glasses or something like that. But this is something that needs to change. And especially if you are listening to this particular talk, the onus is on you as well. So in terms of daily disposable, it's about 46% of soft fit. So almost half of the fittings in these particular countries and those fits were daily disposable lenses, followed by monthly replacement and so on. In terms of multifocal, I just mentioned that uh, at least 60% patients are being fitted with either multifocal or monovision. Now, the good thing is in last 20 years, this is almost doubled. So there is a good shift towards, correction with multifocal lenses and so on. But still, it hasn't reached the level where it should, in my opinion. Coming to toric contact lenses, I think we are, by and large, we are doing well with toric lenses. Almost 33% of these fits were torics. And as you know, the magic number is in, if you look at the population with refractive error, I think around 40 to 45% of them will have 0.75 cylinder at least in one eye. So we are getting there. Some of these countries are actually sitting at 40% or 42%, meaning they have reached the threshold in terms of toric contact lens prescribing. So by and large, I think overall we are doing well with toric lenses, daily disposables increasing, silicone hydrogel doing really great. Multifocal is the only area where I think all of us collectively need to do better. Now, one more question we had asked, a very, very interesting question, if you ask me, that do you encourage every patient for wearing contact lenses? If you do that to every patient, it's always, sometimes, or never. And this is the response we got. Now, get ready for another poll. This is your poll. If you don't recommend lenses to every potential patient, what could be the reasons you are doing that? And again, I want you to do three. You have to pick three of them. FB, can we launch the poll? There you go. So pick any three of them. Why would you not recommend contact lenses to every potential patient? Is it because time? Is it because you fear that the patient I may lose the patient to dissatisfaction, or threat of internet, or you think no, it doesn't give me good business, the margin is low, and so on. So pick any three. I'll give you 10 seconds. Pick any three. You may be tempted, but don't pick more than three.
Yeah, because it's multiple choice. We just want to know your
But it's
top
an
three
interesting
reasons.
question, right? If you remember when we were designing this survey, we were so excited.
Yeah, yeah.
And fortunately, even the responders, they did well. We got really good response.
Good feedback and response. Yeah.
To answer these questions. And I'm sure attendees here are also quite excited to answer. So we'll give you a
Yeah.
last few seconds. Can those who have not done, can you do this quickly?
Yeah.
Pick any three.
Yeah, just for everybody's this thing, you might have to press the submit button because this is multiple choice. So once you choose three options, just remember to press the submit button.
Yeah, just submit it and we'll just survey now. This is your second survey. I'll promise that I'll give you just one more, not too many. Okay. So let's end the poll and see what are the top three.
Sure. So I'm just going to end the poll and
okay, top
here are the
three,
results.
maximum got fear of losing patient due to dissatisfaction. Okay. Some of you feel 30% is second. So business
And assume
proposition on
patience.
complications, not very comfortable in handling complications, followed by increased chair time. Wonderful. Thank you so much for participating in the survey. And I'm going to share the results that we had when we administered our survey to across the world. And this is what we got. The first one, surprisingly, was the practitioners assume that patients are not interested in contact lens wear. And I think this is deadly because, we as practitioners feel that, no, my patients are not interested, so why should I prescribe? And the patients are thinking, if my practitioner is not recommending, maybe contact lenses are not for me. So that's an issue. The other one, which you can see in the middle circle, is inadequate business proposition. I think some of you picked that you feel that, the business margin is not good, the profit is not good. And the third one, which came out, was increased chair time. People feel that you have to spend a lot of time with contact lens patient, and that's why they are not very positive in terms of recommending contact lenses. So I think we are matching somewhere here, apart from the first one, which is assuming patients are not interested. So fortunately, those who are attending here, they don't have this issue of assuming. Good. Don't assume that because you don't know. Patients are not even aware, right? Okay.
Actually, Nilesh, I think you may not be able to see the last option, but we are quite matching, to be honest. There was almost 72% who said that they assume. So quite matching still, I think.
I didn't
Yeah.
see that here.
Yeah.
So it's here as well. Oh, I'm so sorry. I complimented you for no reason.
Yeah, I wanted to break that barrier. That's why I thought I'll
Thank you
let you
so much
know.
for correcting me. I was assuming, but so we have people here who are not very sure whether the patients are interested or not. And that's because we have not really tried to understand the patient's need. And I'll come to that part in a while. But before we do that, I want to share some interesting information about a quick survey that I did in India. Now, this is not a published survey, so we can take it with a pinch of salt, but this is over telephonic conversation. And I picked some contact lens practices which are like, reasonably good in uh, dispensing contact lenses. And that's what I picked. So around 14 of them were independent, single standalone practices, three retail chains. So I spoke to someone who's responsible for handling contact lenses of that particular chain. And then three are ophthalmology based practices. And very, very interesting information. I am excited to share, and I hope you are excited to get listen to this particular information. So the question was, out of 100 patients, how many are spectacle only patients, contact lens only patients, and contact lens and spectacle both? Simple question. So if you can see the orange, that tells you revenue wise. That means if I earn 100 rupees, how much do I earn only from spectacle wearing patients? How much do I earn for only contact lens wearing patients? And how much do I earn from patients who buy both spectacle and contact lenses from me? So the number of patients and the revenue is almost matching. See, generally what we feel is the patients who are buying spectacles, they pay us more because the cost of spectacles, the price of spectacles is higher than the price of contact lenses. So even if I get 10 contact lens patient, I don't earn much. That's one of the thoughts in many practitioners' mind. But when I ask these people, that is not happening. According to them, the number of patients and the revenue generated is quite proportionate. That is the first insight I got. The second insight I got was, I asked them, so what is the average frequency of eye checkup and what is the average frequency of buying spectacles? So if you look at the blue ones, these are patients who are only spectacle wearer. So if a patient is wearing only spectacle, that patient comes to you after every 1.4 years on an average. Okay. Someone who's only contact lens wearer comes to you almost 8 months, every 8 months. And a patient with both of these, patient who wears contact lenses as well as spectacles, comes to you almost once a year. This is information from those 18 practices only. Okay. Now check the frequency of purchase. It's almost the same. Even if someone is wearing only spectacles, or if someone is wearing contact lenses with backup spectacles, the frequency of spectacle purchase is not getting affected. They are buying almost at the same time. So very, very interesting information that we got. And finally, the question I asked was, how about the time? How much is the average time taken for these patients? So only spectacle, which is basically refraction, for eye examination, they take around 15 to 16 minutes on an average. A contact lens wearer for a first time is definitely way higher. You can see around 37 minutes average. But a follow-up contact lens patient takes only 16 minutes. So same as spectacle refraction time. Now, what this says is, first time when you're seeing a contact lens patient, you definitely have to invest more time, but follow-up does not take that much time. And I think you will tend to agree with that. But you'll say, but still 37 is higher than 16. Of course it is. But those 37 minutes is the time you get to build a rapport with your patient. That's the time you understand your patient better, the patient's lifestyle better. You build a rapport between the patient and the practitioner. And that is actually, some of these practitioners actually value that time. And they say that it's not chair time, it is care time. And I really like that word. It's not chair time, it's your care time. So though you have to invest a little bit more time initially, it is worthwhile. Now, some of you will say, no, but simple spherical contact lens, soft lens may not take that long. But toric, multifocal, they take longer time. So here's some evidence, a paper published in Contact Lens and Anterior Eye in a high street practice. And they found out that, the duration of time taken for fitting spherical, toric, and multifocal did not vary much. It was almost similar, provided the contact lens practitioner is experienced and competent enough. then it does not vary much. Now I'm going to go one step ahead. I'm going to share something even more interesting with you. This is a very, I would say, confidential kind of information, but don't worry, I have taken permission and I'm sharing it with you. So I'm not going to name, but this is one of the leading optical chains in India, and they were happy to share this information with me, and I'm going to share it with you with their due permission. So don't worry about that. Now, if you look at the pie chart on the left side, category-wise value contribution, around 10% of their value comes from contact lenses. And in terms of patients, it's around 19% of their total number of patients are contact lens wearer. So in this one, you can say that the value is just 10%, but the number of patients they have wearing contact lenses is higher in this particular retail chain. And I'm coming to some more and more interesting information here. So again, they shared this information that spectacle buying frequency of these particular patients is about once in 1.5 years. So around 1.5 years, the patient comes back and buys spectacles typically, not more regularly than this. And typically around 4 to 6,000 rupees is the average price of the spectacles. And their, I would say explanation to this was spectacles, the trend doesn't change so frequently like clothing. So even if you come back after 1.5 years, patients are all right. They are not really very, very eager to change their spectacles immediately in 6 months or 9 months. They're happy to wear it for longer than 1.5 years. I think we intuitively know that. The other piece of information is when it comes to contact lenses, what is the buying frequency? And this is something interesting. Twice a year, almost 70% of their patients buy contact lenses twice a year. So the frequency of buying contact lenses for these particular patients is way higher than the frequency of patients buying spectacle lenses. This is one particular chain. So I asked him, why is your optical retail chain so contact lens savvy, or they're doing so well? What is your mantra for this particular success? And that's what he shared with me. He said that, you know what we do? We do something like one trial a day. I am a strong believer that all my optometrists should do at least one contact lens trial every day. Because the more number of people wear contact lenses, they'll realize how comfortable contact lenses are. And the chances of them starting to wear contact lenses will increase. And I thought that is really great. And he shared another insight with me, which is some of their practices have contact lens revenue share as high as 24%. So imagine a quarter of their revenue comes from contact lens business. This is amazing. And this is just one proactive contact lens optical retail chain. But I think these particular pieces of information quite interesting and quite insightful. Now, as I promised you, I'm going to ask you one last question, and this is the question. If you want to increase your contact lenses or the contact lens practice, what will you do? Again, I want you to pick three things. Which are the three things you will do so that you can increase your contact lens practice? And you can get started now. And I'll promise you this is the last poll. I'm not going to ask you any poll questions after this.
Yeah. So the answers, a couple of them have started to pour in. Yeah.
So guys, you have to submit at the end of it. Pick any three and submit. And this time I won't make a mistake of not looking through FB. I'm going to see all of them.
Yeah, because I think the window is smaller when it comes to share. So you might have just, yeah.
I've learned my lesson. I'm a smart guy.
Yeah.
Just like you.
Okay.
Okay. Coming good. Answers are coming through. What do you think you should do so that you can enhance your contact lens practice? That's the question. So you can grow your contact lens practice. Let's wait for 10 more seconds. Then we'll stop the poll. And I'll also share findings of our survey. And we'll see if they match with this or not.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, there you go. Maybe if every in last 5 seconds, you can just
We
stop
will just, yeah, I'm just gonna end the poll now.
and you can share the
And
results for everyone to see.
yeah, there you go.
Awesome. So these are the results of this particular quick survey. Most of you feel that creating awareness among public, cool. 48% feel that proactively recommending contact lens. Good, you've done my job. I've done my job already. Some of you feel continuously updating knowledge and skills of the practitioner. Lovely. Good. So let me share with you what we found out. Okay, there you go. So from our survey, though most of these answers were very, very similar, so there was not much of a difference, but most of them believe that being uh, continuously updating the knowledge and skills of the practitioners and being competent in managing contact lens complications will help me grow my practice. Because if I know that I'm confident, I'm skillful, competent, I will definitely be more proactive in fitting contact lenses, and that will increase my contact lens practice. The other things were also proactive recommendation, the next on this particular line, and then creating awareness. So I think we are, again, some of these answers we are matching the survey results. Some of the answers we are getting some new information, which is good. But surprisingly, both this particular group as well as our findings did not have very good ranking for the last two options, which are making contact lens more affordable or marketing contact lenses on social media. These two did not get enough score in our survey as well as here. So mainly it is about a practitioner's ability. That is something we all agree, right? And one additional thing which is for the patient is awareness among the patients about contact lenses. Now we come to the last segment. Now we know that, now the genie is out. We know that certain things have to be done. Proactively, we need to start talking about contact lenses and we need to start upgrading ourselves. And that you have identified, and that's why you're attending these lectures, because somewhere you want to upgrade yourselves, right? So what do we do in terms of proactively recommending contact lenses? We have found out that by proactive recommendation, you can definitely make more patients try contact lenses. And the more patients you make try contact lenses, the more patients will start wearing contact lenses. So the trick is let patients experience contact lens wear. So the lenses have to be applied to the eye. And that's the key. And that is, if you look at the second point here, which is a study conducted on named as EASE, EASE, enhancing approach to SE, spectacle. E is for what? And enhancing approach to spectacle something. So what you do is you just put contact lenses to the patient's eyes and let them select. Oh, selecting eyewear, enhancing approach to selecting eyewear. Got it. So before patients start looking out for frames, just let them wear contact lenses and experience the selection process. They enjoy the process more. Some of them come back and also start wearing contact lenses. And those who buy spectacles, they buy spectacles also of better quality. So it's all evident that patients just have to feel contact lenses for that. And we also did a study where we found out that if you tell people about the benefits of contact lenses and how they can help them in their lifestyle, that is something works well, very well for our patient, right? So this is called as a consultative approach. Now, what do we do when we are taking history? Ask a couple of additional questions after medical history and typical, ocular history and things like that. Ask a couple of additional questions, which is after you ask, what do you do for living? What do you do in your free time, or what are your hobbies? Now, if you ask these questions, you'll get more information about the patient, and you can think of how the benefits of contact lenses can take care of that particular issue of your patient. So try to match the benefits of lenses with the patient's requirement. And finally, a very, very important tip. Ask this question to your patient. Did you ever wish that you should be free from having to wear glasses at some point of time? And believe me, everyone will have at least a few, I would say, but a few times or a few incidents where the person thought, yeah, I did not want to wear glasses at this particular time, taking a picture or engaging in some outdoor activity or so on. So there are definitely moments where you want to be spectacle free at that particular point of time, and that will make the patients think. Now, another one, don't say that contact lenses will make you look better. Say that contact lens will give you your natural look back, because many spectacles wearers believe that they really look cool with their spectacles, and that's okay. Spectacles are not competitors to contact lenses. Spectacles are complementary to contact lenses. Always remember that. So it's not spectacles or contact lenses, it is spectacles and contact lenses. Almost every A metro can have both of them. They don't have to pick one. And people don't like to make these choices. They would prefer to have both, right? So think of natural look and not you look great with contact lenses and not so good with spectacles. Those days are gone. Today we have very, very good fashionable spectacle frames. In fact, some of them, without any prescription, they wear frames just to look cool, right? So how do you introduce lenses? Well, this is what you do. Certain professions could be more suited directly, like sports, people, theater artists, where eye contacts are very important, or there's a lot of physical activity involved. There's a straightforward benefit of contact lenses. Patients with higher refractive error, they will immediately benefit from contact lenses. They'll also understand the benefits and realize that quicker. So these are like your straightforward patients where you have to recommend contact lenses. The other patients, you may have to add a few more questions like, what are your hobbies? What do you do in a free time? How do you manage? Do you ever have difficulty with your spectacles and so on? So that's what you do. You might see a few patients who had a negative experience with contact lenses. Now, what do you do to those patients? You inquire what went wrong, because this could be like 15 years ago. And if you look at today's lenses, they're amazing lenses, great quality, very, very comfortable. Like today's daily disposable lenses, just apply them and forget them within a minute. They're that comfortable. So there are better technology. There are lenses which are more comfortable on the eye. So always talk about it and offer to give a fresh contact lens trial to these patients who did not have a great experience a few years ago. These are the opportunities that you can use. Ease approach, which is, enhancing approach to selection of eyewear. Then daily disposable powered lenses as a gift during delivery of spectacles. We can do that. These tips I have taken from, some of my colleagues who are really good with their practice. Astigmatic patients, they're eager to wear contact lenses, but they may have been discouraged by someone else because that person may not have an idea about toric lenses and how good and how predictable and reproducible today's toric lenses are. Presbiops, it's a great opportunity. I cannot talk enough about presbiops. So it's an untapped opportunity. They are not aware that there are lenses for them. So it's a practitioner's responsibility to make them aware and offer trials. And myopia control, myopia management, I think it is becoming bigger and bigger by the day, especially Asian countries, right? So, and that's also a great conversation to talk about contact lenses, myopia management. So here are a few things to remember. Whenever you're having a contact lens related discussion, have it in the clinic and not outside. Because the moment you come outside the clinic, the patient sees you as a different person. When you're in a clinic, you're a practitioner. When you're outside, they may think that you're selling something. And our job as practitioner is to recommend whatever is the best for our patient confidently. But do that discussion inside the clinic. A detailed examination is mandatory to know the suitability of the lenses and to before you apply any lens onto the eye. No compromise here. As a clinician, it's our responsibility to do that. Do not hesitate to recommend. If you think that's the right option, don't hesitate. Patients are waiting for your recommendations, actually. Sometimes we are scared. How can I say? A patient may say that, I'm trying to sell something. No, they're actually waiting for you to give the right solution to their needs. Then the and story, it's not either or, it's and. And your confidence and proactive recommendation are very, very important for the patient. And finally, Don't sell contact lenses. Recommend, prescribe, and dispense contact lenses. And you can do that because you're a clinician, right? So I'm not going to talk much about the opportunity, how do you um, upgrade the existing patients, but some of the questions that you can ask who to the patients who come for follow up, and these are these questions. Number one, are you able to wear the lenses as much as you would like to? That gives you an idea if the patient is happy. How do they feel 5 minutes after you put them, and how do you feel at the end of the day? Now, if you ask these specific questions, you get some information whether the patient is really comfortable, especially towards the end of the day or not. And depending on these answers, you would know what kind of lens design or what kind of lens material you have to prescribe to this particular patient. And that is what a good clinician does. A good clinician is also a good investigator, right? So patients may not know that these are the problems that can be solved. They just assume that every contact lens wearer goes through this. But sometimes these are the problems that you can solve as a clinician, right? So I just want to give you a very important message at the end of it. As contact lens practitioner, we have a superpower. We can change people's lifestyles. So use your superpower wisely. This is your superpower, use it wisely. Some of you are complaining that, why are you just putting a photo of a Superman? And if you're complaining of that, I'm prepared for you. There are Supermen here, there are Wonder Women here. But I want you to remember that as a contact lens practitioner, you have a power, and with great power comes great responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nilesh sir, for that exciting insights and useful summary messages and thought-provoking ideas, I would say, at the end, so that every one of us can go back and reflect and start implementing on those thoughts as well. So thank you so much for sharing that with us today.
So this is something we had developed some time back, and I think if you're interested, we can share this with you. It's a very simple protocol that we can use for contact lens recommendation, and it starts even before patient enters the clinic. So the first step is keeping the clinic ready for your patient. So neat and clean, and all the instruments should be handy, reachable. You don't have to, look out for switch where the switch is and the instrument is not clean, etc. So keep the clinic ready for your patient. The first contact with your patient is very important. So that may be, 10th patient for you, but for the patient, you're the first practitioner. And how you deal with that patient will remain with that patient. So the first contact is very important. So greet with a smile. Smile is very, very important. Trust me, you have to give a natural, pleasant smile to every patient. And depending on where you are and what are the cultural issues there, what are the appropriate way of greeting your patients, do that. In some places, it could be a simple namaste. Some places, it could be a handshake. Whatever it is, culturally appropriate, do that. So that's your second thing. Third is your initial interaction. So ask patients the purpose of visit, and what are your in the history taking. Don't forget to ask what do you do in your free time and what are your hobbies. Then do the eye examination, and after the examination, do the counseling. And during counseling, pick the thread from your initial interaction. So if the patient might have said that, I am a software engineer, 5 days a work a week, and I'm 5 days a week, I'm working on my computer. I'm very happy with my glasses, no problem. But he might have said something like, in the over the weekends, I like to spend time with my family. I have a small daughter and I play with her. And that's your cue. That particular patient may be a great patient for spectacles for 5 days a week and a daily disposable occasional lens for those 2 days. And this is where, as a practitioner, you have to start thinking. So these are some of the things you remember. Be enthusiastic, greet with a warm, natural smile, ask precise, relevant questions, be interested and listen, engage in a smooth conversation, recommend confidently, and don't remember to be proactive.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do we deal with pricing? I think even before dealing with pricing, this pricing issue generally comes when patients do not appreciate the value of, the product that you're suggesting or recommending. So definitely, cost is important. But before even talking about that cost and the product, if we have done the first step well, which is identifying the need of the patient, if that has come out well, and if our product is solving that particular problem, then the price related objections don't come too often. And even then, yes, some of them will come. And how do we deal with these is basically the benefits that the product offer to that particular patient. So it's a daily disposable lens. Now, what are the benefits of daily disposable lens? There are 10 different benefits. But what is the most important benefit to your particular patient, which you might have identified during your initial conversation with the patient? That is something which will minimize the questions related to pricing. And of course, you can back it up with the claim of the technology. One particular uh, lens is higher price compared to the other one because you can give a complete benefit statement, which is this particular lens has this particular ingredient, which is called as a feature of the lens, and because of which it will help you to wear these lenses comfortably throughout your waking hours. So right now you have an issue that after 8 to 10 hours you're not very comfortable, but with these lenses you can wear your lenses comfortably because of the technology it has for up to 15 or 16 hours, and that will reduce or minimize the questions related to the price. And that's where the difference in price comes.
Yeah. I think the connecting question is, sometimes when it comes to the pricing differences, it also is indicating to some people that when they come to replenish their lenses, the same products are available at a different pricing, perhaps. So how would you kind of tackle? Do you have any suggestions on this issue? Like we sold a product A, but they went outside and they saw this product is being selling online or somewhere else at a lower price. So what do you think could we can fight and let our patients know? Is there any tips you would share with us?
So the best practitioners, whatever I've seen, the people who are doing really good in this particular aspect is they don't sell product, they sell service. Because product can cost anything, like someone who can sell the product at the rate that they have bought and just 1% margin. Some of them will sell it at 5% margin, 10% margin, whatever. So there can be a difference in those pricing, and that is exactly why the initial 36 minutes of chair time is so important, because you're not selling just a product, you are selling a complete package. What is the package? The package is the service that you're providing, the expertise that you have, the way you identify the problem correctly, and the way you are providing a correct solution to that particular patient, a customized solution to the particular patient. So this is an entire package. If you do that well, then there will be fewer patients who will come back with these problems. And even after doing that, you may lose 10% of your patients to pricing, the undercutting, and things like that. And it's better to let them go. This is what I've heard from the best practitioners, because they will not stay with anyone. The person who has given that particular lens, let us say at 10% less, tomorrow they're going to someone who's giving it at further 10% less. So you don't gain much by these patients anyway. It's better to look at and concentrate on your overall package, which is the service, your clinical examination, and also start charging for your clinical examination.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. You're not selling the product; it's the service, the chair time you're investing. So yeah, the care time. Yes, I learned something new as well. Awesome, great. One more question is any tips on how would we talk or counsel patients who are afraid about contact lens related infection? I think this is something which is going on social media. I believe they have seen something and they come to you. So any tips on that?
Yeah, I've heard this enough. And to be fair, if we didn't have any knowledge of contact lenses, would we not have the same doubt that you're putting something on the eye, it may damage the eye or it may cause infection? And I've heard these bad stories as well. So I think it is fair to have this question in their mind. And yes, as practitioner, we need to handle this effectively. And some of the ways you can do that is um, today's contact lenses are really safe. Almost 17.5 crores across the world are wearing contact lenses comfortably without any issues. Okay. So that is a testimony. That's a fact that you're stating. That is a reassuring thing for a patient. That 17.5 million people across the world are wearing contact lenses comfortably without any problem. That's one. Second, the serious problems, which are, sight threatening problems with contact lens wear are very, very, very low. And it's a fact, you're not lying to your patients. So the sight threatening problems are very low. So that's your second point. And the third thing is, if you take good care of your lenses, the lenses take good care of your eyes. And my typical analogy, my favorite analogy for this is, when you drive, there's always a risk of accident. Would you stop driving because of that? No. Most of the accidents happen not because of the problem with the technology in the car, but because of rash driving, or not following the traffic rules. So if you follow the practitioner instructions correctly, the chances of, serious problems are very, very, very low.
Yeah.
That's how I'll handle this.
Yeah, that's a great tip as well. Yeah, another question I think, yeah, perhaps you can talk hours about this as well, on what is the important, factor when it comes to contact lenses. Is it the fitting is more important or the power is more important? And I think this is related to how you gonna fit the lenses. What is your thought about this?
I think it's not either or. Many things there is no either or.
Yeah.
You cannot prescribe a wrong powered contact lens. The patient will have immediate vision related issues, right? At the
Yeah.
same time, you cannot let a patient go with a improperly fitted lens. The patient may not complain immediately, but will come back with problem because the patients don't understand whether the lens is fitting well or not. They may have symptoms. If it's a flat lens, there will be a discomfort. If it's a steep lens, immediately there may not be any symptom, but after some time there will be symptoms. So neither of them is good. Neither of them is acceptable. A part of contact lens fitting is having a correct powered contact lens. I won't say either or. I would say you have to do as a clinician. Your job is to get the prescription right. Your job is to get the fitting right. The nice combination of lens material, lens care, everything. It's not either or.
Yeah, because I think we can relate this with the dropout studies as well. People do drop out with comfort related issues,
Correct.
vision related issues. So it's both the spectrum is, I think, very important. It's not either or, as you said. Yeah. Okay, we take one more last question. I think perhaps you have already, shared your thoughts on this already, but just for the completion, now we are into this myopia related, management phase where everybody is wanting to do myopia management. Do you have any tips in convincing parents about the ongoing cost, the myopia management side of having that business? Any thoughts over that?
Yeah, so the cost of myopia control lenses or spectacles, both, we know that it's higher than the other their counterparts, like non-myopia control. We know that. Now, it all depends on, again, the need of your patients and how well you communicate the benefits of these lenses to your patient. It's not going to happen if you've not communicated the benefits well. We know that, yes, it is high investment, but why are you doing that? So if the why of that is clear, then the patients understand. And most of the time, you have to convince the parents. Now, how do you convince the parents is basically, even if you control whatever, one diopter of myopia over next 5 to 10 years, it's going to reduce the chances of complications dramatically. So that is the promise you're offering, or that is the argument, logical argument you're offering. So most patients do understand, because most parents do understand, because for every parent, their child is important. And if you can use nice, let us say, um, animations or nice videos, and there are a lot of tools today, you can use those tools to explain that. See, the myopia typically tends to increase, and with these lenses, we are controlling the increase. We may not stop the increase, but if it is increasing by this much amount, we are reducing the amount of increase, and that will reduce the chances of further complications when your child grows up. And I think most patients, most parents would accept that argument. Those who don't, unfortunately, we can't do much about it. But I think that's where you have to play.
Yeah.
And give evidence wherever it is possible. Give evidence. I think evidence is what something patients and parents understand. You tell them that this is what is happening. This is so many patients are wearing, and this is what is happening currently. And they typically understand that.
Right. Yeah, and I think you have already shared a few tips about how to convince. You gave the last section about how could you do better and how could you proactively do better. So I'm sure you have covered this question on how would you convince your patients to try on lenses. Is there any episode or
Yeah.
something which you came across which you like to share?
Okay, so somebody is not convinced, what do you do? First of all, you're not trying to convince too much. You don't try too hard. When you do that, you come across as someone who's selling it, and then that's where you lose your patient. So understand the requirement and recommend. That's it. Don't be too pushy. You're not a salesperson here. You're a clinician who's recommending contact lens. So that's one. And this will work well if you have understood the need well during your initial conversation. And I keep going back to that. The first few minutes where you're doing history taking is extremely important, because that's where you understand your patient well. And if you understand the requirements well, and then you say, for example, if someone comes to me and say contact lenses have 10 benefits, why don't you wear it? I will say, no, thank you. I'm happy with glasses. The moment you say that, last time you broke your glasses while playing with your daughter, right? And I'll say, yes, I did that. Okay, what if I give you a solution where you can play with your daughter, enjoy those times, cherish those moments, and you will not break your glasses? How about that? Now you have my ears, now you have my attention, and now I'll listen to you. So understand the need well, and then recommend contact lenses to satisfy those particular needs. Then the chances of saying no decreases. Now, even if that happens and you did your job well and patient says, no, I don't want any, no problem. At least you have, seeded that thought in the patient's mind. And there are many patients who will come back when they need an occasion. When there's an occasion, they may come back. Now you have said something like, occasional contact lenses, daily disposable, use and throw. So sometimes, I want to play something, I want to do water sports, or I want to uh, go on a picnic, and I don't want to wear my glasses. Is that option still available? So they may come back to you, and this has happened to many practitioners, that they do come back when they need, then the need arises. So always at least seed that thought in your patient's mind.
Yeah, at least make them aware. If not, somebody else will, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and definitely
awesome.
there will be people where you won't be successful, and that's okay. You don't have to be
Yeah,
successful there and there. The patients do come back, and you've done your job well.
wonderful. Great. So thank you so much. I see all the thank yous filling up on the chat already. Wonderful. So thank you so much, everyone, for attending the session. Thank you, Nilesh, sir, for leading this and sharing those insights with us.
Great.
Okay. Thank
You
you.
guys,
Thank you so much.
amazing, very responsive, and I had a great time. Thank you, FB, for having me. And
Thank you.
we'll see you around.
Yeah. Take care. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.